Looking back into the annals of art history, many printmakers have engaged on the topic of violence in their work. What is your relationship with violence, war?
What's happening in Mexico has been happening since the early 1990s in Ciudad Juarez, which is where I'm from. Growing up on the border, it was just kind of like in my periphery by being always on the local media. Every single day there would be at least one case of a body being found somewhere. And I started collecting these stories in 2006 when the official war on drugs was declared in Mexico. Then things exploded, and it wasn't just local news anymore, it was national news and even international news. And so this made it even more crucial for me to try to explore it as a subject matter.
What do you feel is your role as a witness?
In my work, it's not just about the people that we're losing, but also memories that we want to not remember. And I think artists have to represent what's happening around them. I think that's our role as visual artists. We have to show the public what they don't want to see. And it is only that way that we are able to record these events.
Inhumane acts of violence are difficult things to look at. I guess I'm wondering how you handle that in making something that's not immediately recognizable as a figure, and I guess your thought process behind that decision.
I'm appropriating images from the media. These photographs were on front page of the newspapers. People were looking at them for only for 3 seconds and then immediately close it or change page. And also they would try to forget the image right away because who wants to live with those images? And that's when I realized that I needed a different approach. I needed to do something that actually lured the viewer and make them slow down to see the image and to realize what is happening, and then it would make a bigger impact. At least that was my hope. So after appropriating these images, I altered them digitally to be able to abstract them to the point where they become almost unrecognizable, but still leaving enough details that can, over time, redefine the figure. And when the viewer slows down and actually look at the piece, eventually the image reveals itself. And when that happens, they cannot unsee it. And it makes a greater impact than a gory image.
Because it seems very much like it's not going the kind of sensationalist route of using these images. It's very much about invoking care and empathy for the community that's involved.
Exactly. For me, the very essence of my work is the loss of a life. I'm not placing any judgment on the people that are being murdered or executed. The cadavers that I'm using for my images, they're cartel members, they're members of the law enforcement, and they're also bystanders. I do have the belief that the personal can show the universal, and so this is personal for me. This is a figure that could have died in any other conflict. It's just that the original source is from Mexico. The more I looked at the images, the more I realized that a lot of the photographs started to repeat. I mean, there were different people, different scenarios, or different landscapes, but in the end, they looked very similar.